Alright, let's talk about some cool places in Stuttgart. Let's start with the university campuses. I adore them. I lived on the Feigen campus, which is like the STEM campus, but it also has the International Centre just nearby, so that's why they put all the international students there. I love that campus. Like, I spent many nights there at the bars in our dorms, but I also have a bit of a soft spot for the Stadtmitte campus in the middle of the city. It's sort of surrounded by buildings. It kind of feels very enclosed and very, like, safe, you know? Let's move on to Grand Café Plany. This is my favourite cafe in Stuttgart, by far. It is supposedly the oldest cafe in Stuttgart, which is really, really cool. They have a killer menu, killer food, killer breakfast. I love going there, and I wish I was able to go there more, but you know, bit poor, couldn't afford it, so it was only a sometimes treat. But it is right next door to the Neue Schloss. This is the big castle in the middle of the Stuttgart city. There is an Altes Schloss, which is right nearby, and that one is sort of medieval era, and this one is more Rococo, 18th century sort of era. It's where the old kings of Baden-Württemberg used to live, and like there's so much history just sitting there in the middle of the city. It's in the middle of Schlossplatz, obviously, like, and I've had many a fun night in Schlossplatz because drinking in public is legal in Germany. So, like, you can go and sit in the Schlossplatz and just chill or whatever, but the actual castle itself is really beautiful. Shall we move on to Schloss Solitude? This is just an amazing place to go. I went there maybe first month of my exchange. I was sort of still trying to find my feet, and it was just a lovely place to go visit. You get there by taking the, getting to Feuersee, and then you take the bus from Feuersee to Schloss Solitude. It's about a half-hour bus ride, and it goes all the way up the hills, and when you get to the top, you are greeted by this massive, massive castle and this absolutely wonderful view of the city.
On like a beautiful day like today, it's absolutely amazing. You get out of the bus and you're greeted by this incredible view of the city and this absolutely beautiful house. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Let's talk about Marienplatz. This is like the Stuttgart equivalent of the East End in Adelaide. It's like hipster central. It's so good. You get there with the U-Bahn from Hauptbahnhof, or you can walk, and basically you get to the Platz, you get to the square, and there's a whole bunch of cafes all around, and if you wander down any of the side streets, you can find more cafes and thrift shops. There are so many thrift shops here. They're so good, packed with all sorts of vintage gear. There are like true to form op shops, which are like charity shops, and there are like proper vintage stores that are a bit more pricey but do have a really good selection. I went with my friend Maeve when she came to visit. We went and just walked all the way from Marienplatz to Stadtmitte again, and it was just incredible the stuff we were able to find. I actually found a pair of like gingham high-waisted pants that are vintage, and she bought some like cool vintage designer gear. If you wander down the side streets of Marienplatz, you can also find these really cool little cafes. There's this one called Mish Mish. It's kind of Instagram famous. It's like got this Tiffany blue sort of accent going all the way through it, and it has some of the best coffee that I've tasted outside of Australia. There's also this little cafe that we stumbled across that the name escapes me, but they had like this little hole in the wall vibe, and you could get lunch there, and it was like below walking levels, so you could see the people walking past through the window, and yeah, it was really cool. We ended up getting lunch there.
I ordered it with cheese, and Maeve's allergic to cheese.
And I think that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Where are your favourite places in your city or the city you did an exchange in? If you have any questions about anything I mentioned, please ask them. And yeah, I suppose that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll